Story 1: The Chat Room Stalker. In 2009, a teenager named Rachel loved spending her free time in online chat rooms, talking to friends and meeting new people. One evening, she received a message from a user named Shadowhunter. He seemed friendly at first, complimenting her on her profile picture and asking about her interests. They chatted for hours, and Rachel felt an instant connection. Over the next few weeks, Shadowhunter became a regular in Rachel's online life. He seemed to know a lot about her, even things she hadn't mentioned. She assumed he was just very observant. One day, he sent her a message that made her uneasy. "I can't wait to see you in person." When she asked what he meant, he brushed it off as a joke. Then, strange things began happening in real life. Rachel noticed a dark car parked near her house several times, and she felt like someone was watching her when she walked home from school. One night, she received a text message from an unknown number: "Nice blue sweater. It really suits you." She was wearing a blue sweater at that very moment. Terrified, Rachel confided in her parents, who contacted the police. It turned out that Shadowhunter was a 35-year-old man who had been stalking her for weeks. He had found her address through her IP address and had been watching her every move. The police arrested him, and Rachel deleted her chat room account, vowing never to speak to strangers online again. Story 2: The Craigslist Killer. In 2013, a college student named Mark was looking for a cheap used car on Craigslist. He found a listing that seemed too good to be true: a barely used sedan for a fraction of its market price. Excited, he contacted the seller and arranged to meet in a public parking lot to check out the car. When Mark arrived, the seller, a man in his 40s, was waiting. The car looked great, and the seller seemed friendly. However, as Mark inspected the car, the seller's demeanor changed. He became agitated and impatient, insisting that Mark needed to make a decision immediately. Sensing something was off, Mark decided to leave. As he walked back to his car, he felt a sharp pain in his side. The seller had followed him and stabbed him, attempting to rob him. Mark managed to fight him off and escape, bleeding heavily. He drove himself to the nearest hospital, where he was treated for his injuries. The police later arrested the seller, who was revealed to be a wanted criminal known for using Craigslist to lure victims. Mark's quick thinking and bravery saved his life, but the encounter left him traumatized. He never used online classifieds again, and his story serves as a warning to others about the dangers lurking behind seemingly innocent online ads. Story 3: The eBay Haunted Doll. In 2016, a woman named Lisa, an avid collector of vintage dolls, found a peculiar listing on eBay. The seller claimed the doll was haunted, with a history of strange occurrences and eerie behavior. Intrigued, Lisa purchased the doll and eagerly awaited its arrival. When the doll arrived, it was everything the listing described: old, worn, and unsettling. That night, Lisa placed it on a shelf in her living room. Shortly after, she began experiencing strange things. Objects moved on their own, and she heard faint whispers when she was alone. One morning, she found the doll in a different room, even though she lived alone. Determined to uncover the truth, Lisa set up a camera to record overnight. The footage revealed the doll's eyes glowing faintly in the dark and its head turning slightly. Disturbed, Lisa reached out to the eBay seller, who revealed the doll had belonged to a girl who died tragically, and it was believed her spirit was attached to it. Unable to live with the constant fear, Lisa decided to get rid of the doll. She donated it to a paranormal museum, where it remains on display. Visitors often report feeling uneasy around the doll, and some claim to hear whispers when they get close. Lisa's experience with the haunted doll taught her a chilling lesson about the unknown forces that can come with seemingly innocent online purchases. Story 4: The Dark Web Nightmare. In 2018, a curious college student named James stumbled upon the dark web while researching for a school project. Intrigued by the stories of hidden websites and illegal activities, he decided to explore further. He found a forum where users shared disturbing content, from illegal trades to horrifying videos. One night, James received a private message with a link to a live stream. The message read, Join us for a special show tonight." Against his better judgment, James clicked the link. What he saw horrified him: a live broadcast of a masked figure in a dark room, performing gruesome acts. The masked figure addressed the viewers, saying, "For our next show, we need a volunteer." James quickly closed the browser, shaken by what he had seen. The next day, he received another message: "You've been chosen." Panicked, he tried to delete his dark web account and erase his online presence, but the messages kept coming, now including personal information about him, his address, his school, and even his family members. Terrified for his safety, James reported the incident to the authorities. The investigation revealed that the dark web forum was run by a criminal organization involved in human trafficking and other heinous crimes. James was placed under protective custody until the perpetrators were caught. The experience left James traumatized and with a deep understanding of the dangers lurking in the hidden corners of the internet. His story serves as a stark warning about the perils of venturing into the dark web and the real-life consequences that can follow. Story 5: The Eerie Email. In 2015, a young professional named Claire was working late at her office in New York City. She received an email from an unknown sender with the subject line, "Help me." The email contained a single, cryptic sentence: "They're coming for me, and they know where you are." Thinking it was a prank, Claire deleted the email and continued working. But the emails kept coming, each more disturbing than the last. "I can see you," read one. "You can't hide from them," read another. Each email was sent from different addresses, making it impossible to block the sender. Claire's unease grew when she started noticing strange occurrences in her office. Her computer screen would flicker, and files would disappear only to reappear in different folders. One night, she saw a figure reflected in her screen, standing behind her. She spun around, but no one was there. The final straw came when she received a video attachment. The footage showed her walking home from work, filmed from a distance. The realization that someone was stalking her terrified her. She immediately contacted the police, who traced the emails to an abandoned building across the street from her office. The police discovered a hidden room in the building, filled with surveillance equipment and photos of Claire. The stalker, a former IT technician who had been fired months earlier, was arrested. Claire's ordeal was over, but the trauma lingered. She changed jobs and moved to a new apartment, always looking over her shoulder, haunted by the memory of the eerie emails. Story 6: The Creepy Craigslist Roommate. In 2014, a college student named Alex needed a new roommate to help cover the rent. He posted an ad on Craigslist and quickly received a response from a man named John. John seemed perfect, quiet, polite, and with a steady job. They met in person, and Alex decided to let him move in. At first, everything seemed fine. John kept to himself and paid his share of the rent on time. But soon, Alex began to notice odd behavior. John would disappear for days without explanation, often returned in the middle of the night, covered in dirt and grime. He never explained where he had been. One night, Alex was awakened by strange noises coming from John's room. It sounded like chanting and the scratching of metal on metal. When Alex confronted John the next morning, John simply smiled and said he was working on a project. The final straw came when Alex found a hidden door in John's closet, leading to a small, dark room filled with strange symbols painted on the walls and various sharp tools. Terrified, Alex called the police. The investigation revealed that John was part of a cult that performed dark rituals. The tools were used in their ceremonies, and the symbols were meant to summon spirits. John was arrested, and Alex moved out immediately, unable to shake the fear of what might have happened if he hadn't discovered the hidden room.